Welcome back. Finally time for Foodie Friday, and this morning we are taking to the latest restaurant from two-time James Beard Award-winning chef Gabriel Rucker.
Canard has a new location in Oregon City. The menu has some of the classics from the Portland flagship, but with a more casual twist. Joining us to tell us all about the new spot and their debut of lunch service is Chef Gabriel Rucker himself. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. Thanks
yeah.
so much for joining us from the new Canard in Oregon City. You're a few months in. How are things going?
You know, it's nice to be able to say this after the last couple of years we've had, but better than expected. It was a little bit of a gamble coming to a different town. It's our first time opening a restaurant in a different city, albeit it's very close to Portland. Oregon City, I think, is very different. And, we were really looking to get outside of the city, and do something, just a little bit different, not totally different. About 5 years ago, I moved to Milwaukee, which is about, in Clackamas, about halfway to Oregon City. And I fell in love with it out here, and the people are great. And I wanted to bring what we do food-wise out this way.
Okay, that was going to be my question. I was like, why Oregon City? Out of the whole metro, what drew you to this spot?
Oregon City, so I said I moved out to Milwaukee, love Clackamas, love living, I drive into the city for work, but I love living outside of the city limits myself and raising my family and the community that I found and the people out here. And I thought Milwaukee was just a little too close to Portland. And so Oregon City is just, it has such great character, great people. It's right across the river from Lake Oswego and West Lynn. It's right down 205 from, the I-5 corridor. So from a business standpoint, it's actually kind of a hub here. And there's a great thriving food scene. And so we were just happy to come down to Oregon City and not be like a trailblazer, pardon the pun, but to just join what's already happening here and, kind of throw our hat in the ring and just be part of what's making this a great city for food.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it.
I was just about to say that. We probably even talked about it when you opened up in Oregon City, that there's just been this burgeoning food and beer and wine scene in Oregon City, and it's not really up and coming anymore. It's almost on the edge of established a little bit.
Yeah,
it's arrived, and one of the things that as somebody kind of with a big name in the food world in the city coming down here, I was very cautious. I didn't want to come in and just say, hey, we're just bringing what we do in Portland to Oregon City and we're going to show up and do our thing. I really wanted to kind of bring some of the classics that we have, the Canard classics, but also create a menu for the place that's specific. That's one of the things we do. Our restaurants are not just cookie cutters of each other. They're all have their own identity, even though this one shares a name with the Canard in Portland. And so some of the dishes that we put on the menu were specific. I have a father-in-law who just lives down the road in Canby, and his favorite thing to eat is a Salisbury steak. And so he inspired what has become our signature dish, which is a Salisbury steak frites with mushroom gravy. And that's like, if there's somebody that works at the restaurant here and they come in on their day off to eat, that's the number one thing. It's like, I want to come in and eat that Salisbury steak. And that's how I know that we're doing something, when the staff wants to come in on their day off and eat something.
My stomach just growled. That sounds so good. We heard that, you also just debuted lunch service at your new Canard. So how's that going?
So good. It's amazing. We stopped doing lunch in the city at Canard on Burnside, and to have a place to do lunch. We're open from 11 to 2, 7 days a week. I don't think we're going to have like a true brunch service, but you can come in and you can have some brunchy dishes on the weekend. You can get Bloody Marys, oysters, egg sandwiches. Pancakes are always on the menu at any Canard. So, and then, just having a place to have a nice casual lunch. And the nice thing about Canard is you can make it what you want it to be. You can come in and just get some steam burgers, fries, and a Coke and, an ice cream, and kind of have it be like, a gussied up Dairy Queen experience, which is something I like. We can come in and really truly dine and have a nice bottle of wine, have oysters and foie gras and all of those, those bells and whistles. So, 7 days a week, almost all day. We do close for 2 hours in the middle of the day to give our staff time to recuperate. But you can come in and this restaurant can be anything you want it to be. Whatever mood you're in, we can kind of fill that void for you.
I love
sounds like
that.
so much
I
fun.
think, I mean, I could see a double feature where you go in for like a lunch brunch, get yourself a Bloody Mary, and then I will absolutely be there for that Salisbury steak.
There you
I am
go.
right. I am in
Don't
line.
get the Salisbury steak at lunch. It's only on the menu for dinner.
For dinner,
So,
right. So I'm saying I'll take
So
the
he'll be
halftime
back.
and I'll just come back
wait.
later in the
He'll
day.
see you later
we
that
have
day.
a couple of dishes that are very special for lunch. One of them is my favorite. Is called the Canard,
Oh.
which is my version of an Arby's hot beef and cheddar. And
That
so you,
sounds so good. Chef, we're running
hate
up
to cut
against
you
the
off.
clock here. We don't mean to cut you off, but oh my gosh, thank you for joining us. Go check out the new Canard in
having me.
Oregon City. I sense an AM Extra team lunch meeting
That
there
sounds
very soon.
fantastic.
Yes.
And thanks again to Chef Rucker.
Check it out. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday.